Hey, have you ever imagined that how to get a massive media exposure for yourself or for your business or for your brand? By the way, you might be thinking, who is this guy? My name is Mohammed Siddique. I am the founder of Pakistani Social Entrepreneurship Academy, a project of Al Shari Foundation. We are on a mission to train 1 million entrepreneurs in Pakistan. Don't worry about it. You're not going to learn from me how to get a massive media exposure. You're going to learn from my very special guest. In fact, before I even introduce my guest, I'm going to tell you how we got connected. We got connected together from my mentor, Alex Mondosian, and she worked with Alex Mondosian for 5 years. If you don't know Alex Mondosian, you may want to check that out. Definitely just do a Google Alex Mondosian. He is the only one in the whole world. What he does, he is the only one in the whole world, by the way. He is the Larry King of internet marketing. Why we are talking about this? If someone has worked with Alex Mondosian for 5 years, that's like a living for 500 years on this planet. I'm just telling you right now. That is my testimonial for Alex Mondosian and for my special guest, Bonnie Bruderer. Her last name is so difficult, I'm going to call you Bonnie. Bonnie, welcome.
Thank you so much. You can call me Bon Bon, the name of the show, but thank you so much. It is so lovely to see you again, and it's an honor and privilege to be here.
Bonnie, let me start with this. Where were you? What happened? Who you were surrounded with that inspired you to do what you're doing today, creating a massive media exposures for you, for yourself and for your clients, working in a large community?
Where I am today, I'm in New York, in the United States, and currently I am a talk show host for a station here called MNN Networks on the Lifestyle Channel. And a little bit about my background. I am a trained journalist. I went to college and have a bachelor's degree in journalism, and I worked for 20 years in the personal development field. So I worked for such giants as Tony Robbins for almost 10 years, Harvey Mackay, who wrote Swim with the Sharks Without Getting Eaten Alive and that series of books. And then I also worked with Alex Mondosian, as you mentioned, who I learned a tremendous amount from. He is the CEO of Marketing Online. My dream was always to do television. So I worked for all of these great people. I learned the ins and outs of the industry. I worked with lots of authors, speakers, coaches, entrepreneurs. About a year ago, started a television show here in New York, and it was on the Lifestyle Channel on MNN. And basically the premise of the show is we interviewed different thought leaders. Because I had a 20-year history in the personal development field and worked with so many amazing, incredible authors and speakers and entrepreneurs, I wanted to create a platform that got these people's stories out. I myself am an author, and I've done a lot of television appearances. I've paid to be on NBC and Fox and other channels, and unfortunately what I found is that I didn't sell books and I didn't get new coaching clients. It was fun and it was exciting and it was great to put that logo on my website, and it did build credibility, but for me, I really wanted to create something that was a vehicle for people that have a powerful message and are making good work in the world. What happened is we created the television show in New York, and it was picked up by the Lifestyle Channel on MNN. And you can see here on the screen, that reaches about 620,000 homes every Monday night. We have the primetime spot at 8 p.m. And what happened is in the beginning, I was the executive producer. I still am, but I was funding the whole process. And what I realized is that as great as it was to reach these 600,000 people every week, there was so much more potential. And there was so much more that could be done. And what I know for sure is I have a very powerful resource network. And so I went back to people I know like Alex Mondosian, like Jeff Hazlett, the host of C-Suite, Frank Fernandez from NBC, Peter Rotundo from CBS, and many others. And I asked a lot of questions about how can I create a television show that is multi-platform, that uses every single form of media available, so that if you're watching TV, you catch the message. If you're listening to radio, if you want to have the show on a podcast, if you are tweeting, that you can get massive exposure. And so where we are today, the show has grown tremendously. As you can see, each and every one of our guests, they either come to New York, or we can do these shows from all over the world using today's technology. And we provide an interview. We create about a 10-minute interview where we really get to know the guest. If you're, say, an author, we get to know why you wrote your book, what it's all about, who you are as a person, because that's what makes people want to buy your book. That's what makes people want to hire you as a coach. And then we take that interview and we air that on 4 different television networks. So we air it in New York on MNN's Lifestyle Channel. We air it in Los Angeles on LA 36, which reaches about reaches 1.4 million people. We air it in Sacramento on Channel 29 and in Chicago on CAN TV. So again, we allow this vehicle, this opportunity for you to reach millions and millions of people. We then convert each and every show into multiple forms of media. So we immediately convert it into a radio show, and then that goes on to 4 different radio networks. We're on podcast.com, on iTunes, on womensradio.com, and Artist Hub. Again, reaching about 10 million people just from the radio piece alone. And then from there, we put it through a whole host of online distribution. So we do everything from writing LinkedIn articles, tweeting, and we have over 200,000 on our Twitter. We do Facebook posts. We do all of the usual suspects, YouTube. But then we have some really key partnerships with different media. For example, Footprint TV, which is a new competitor to, it's a little bit like a combo between YouTube and Hulu. And we have a channel, we're a featured program on that show. I'm also a guest blogger on a lot of really high visibility sites like sheknows.com and blogher.com, some of which reach between 85 and 90,000 unique viewers per month. So really, really massive exposure. And then we do a full press campaign for every show too. We write a press release that's submitted to over 250 media outlets. So again, it's not like you just come, you do the show, it gets broadcast and that's it. We really spend the next 90 days marketing that show and distributing it to the people that are more likely to either buy your book or hire you as a coach or learn about your business.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. It's a mouthful. I just asked you a simple question. You gave me every possible. I can't even say no to you, Bonnie, on this one. I'm missing out so much if I don't even come and work with you, by the way. That's how I look like,
Thank you. It's funny. I always say that I accidentally started a television network because I started out trying to create a television show, and we did. And it's accident in that I worked for an entire year, probably, 20 hours a day, and didn't take any days off for about 7 months. But what happened is tremendous, and I couldn't even imagine the connections, the partnerships, and what we have, what you see on the site is right now, we're growing by the day. We're in talks with some of the major distribution networks. We've got pay-per-consumption network contracts in the mix. So it's funny because some people come on and they're like, wow, we have all this exposure, but by the time they actually film their show, we've added multiple channels. And it's been a lot of fun. It's been really great, and we've been able to help a lot of people in the process.
So if someone, author, speaker, or business owner or entrepreneur is watching this, they probably are thinking, do I have to fly to New York, or they can do it from their nice office that maybe even, and plus the cost of traveling and taking days off from the business or something. Is that something in consideration that you probably have international clients that travel, because traveling costs a lot more, especially away from your business, because that's what I'm looking at it.
Yeah, absolutely. So hopefully you'll come to New York. We have so much fun. We film with an amazing crew. We film in a full new studio, 3-camera shoot. We understand if you can't, maybe you're too busy or you just, the timing and so forth. So if you aren't in New York or you can't come here, then we absolutely will use, today's technology and make sure that we still create a high production value interview for you.
That's amazing. That excites me because you can have many international Middle East clients and many clients from Pakistan, because I know so many people and so many business owners in Pakistan can actually use your service for this and plus get a large international exposure.
Yeah.
And that helps them to make a bigger international brand, by the way.
Yeah, amazingly. I mean, we have people that fly in every single week for the show, and we do have international clients. Just last week alone, I think we had 2 or 3 people that flew in from Canada separately. Just so happened. We've had people from Nova Scotia. We've had people from all over. I hope if you're coming from Pakistan, you do still come here because you do happen to like Pakistani food. Again, understand if travel, costs, schedules, all of that are a problem, it's no issue. We just use actually the same technology, Zoom, that we're using today for this interview.
Wonderful. It's amazing. However, I know, Bonnie, not everyone is going to come to you, and I know that not everybody I'm asking to come to you, by the way, because we only want to select clients. And in fact, if you're watching this one, don't go away. Keep watching, because we are about to share with you top 3 things. How many? Top 3 things as an author, business owner, speaker, they need to know about about massive media exposure?
The three key things, and that's a really great point. As much as we would love to work with everybody, unfortunately we can't because we have to produce amazing content. There's guests who we're talking to today, but then there's also the viewer that you have to think about and the person that's watching that show. And so what we really work best with are people that authors are our number one best guests because they're interesting, they're fascinating. I know that they're drivers because it takes a lot to write a book and get it published. Coaches are really great clients for us as well, and that's a really great, they're helping the world, they're making people's lives better. And business owners are a really great type of guest because I don't know any entrepreneur that doesn't have an incredible backstory of, what they did to claw their way to success. So those are really our three key markets that we work with. And then what I would say to each and every one of those people that come on our show is that we're going to give you the vehicle. It's not like we're just going to interview and then one and done, here's your clip. We're going to do the push and we're going to get the distribution out, but also there's many things that you can do. And the first thing is, number one, realize what you want to communicate about your brand, about your message, about your book. This is an amazing platform. There's so many people that you don't even know, can't even fathom that are going to see this. So make sure that you're taking this seriously and that you're creating an interview that is going to exemplify your brand. Number two, quality is so important. We've all seen those horrible video interviews or television clips that it generally tends to happen when there's an emergency, right? We just had a blizzard here in New York last week, the biggest ever, I think, in history, or the second. And they had the worst clips on TV because all they could do was people, filming themselves. They couldn't literally get to them. But it's so painful. So the second thing that I recommend is that you create a space that is very professional. The lighting is good. The sound is good. We have a whole team of people that will walk you through a checklist if you need it before your show, to make sure that you're really presenting a great image with your brand. And then the third thing, is another piece of that, is make sure you have your hair and makeup professionally done. Like, this is very important. This is a huge opportunity for you to reach the masses. And then the third piece is to have a very clear and concise message. The worst thing that, and I'm sure we all know what this is like, when you go to a networking event and someone says, oh, hi, nice to meet you. I'm an author, I'm a speaker, I'm a coach, I'm a massage therapist, and you're like, you just immediately shut off because you're like, I don't even know, should you rub my shoulder? Should I buy your book? Like, I don't know what's going on here. So what I always tell people for media is keep it simple. You've heard the term sound bites probably, and you really want to have those. You want to have a couple of canned phrases that are about your book, about your cause, about your message, so that the viewer, they might be making dinner, they might be changing a diaper, have a screaming child on their hip, but we want to make sure that they get what you're all about. So be very clear and concise. So again, really making sure that you are setting yourself up for success, you're exemplifying your brands, make sure that you have a polished environment, a polished image, and then the third thing is making sure that you have a very clear message and a clear ask. What do you want that viewer to do? Do you want them to go to Amazon and buy your book? Do you want them to Facebook friend you? What is it that you're asking them to do?
Hi, Bonnie. That was wonderful, like very key things. I know I interview so many people. You probably know that. And my guests already know that were watching. They watch me in the same red shirt every time. I have a dozen of them. It's not one. They see I only have one. However, I know many guests give me a very long-winded answers, by the way. And I say, oh my God, how I'm going to cut this and how this is going to be consumed. And some interviews are really big hit and some are really not hit at all. It's not even worth the time spending with them. And I'm sure you have the same experience with many guests. How about if I have an idea live on this interview? I have no idea what you're going to say. However, I'm the host. I can ask any question to you, by the way. That's why I'm going to take that chance to ask you that question. I don't know why your message is good enough. That's the number one objection as an author, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur I have. I don't know if, because going on a TV, media costs money. I know that. And I'm willing to pay that too. However, I don't know if my message is really relevant enough to be on the media. Is it worth it? Because we don't really value what we know, Yes. And the number, is that okay if I asked you to work on me as a live case study and tell me this message is not worth it at all, and I can bring you so many situations. I love to be humilized, by the way.
It's like live TV. Normally we don't film live, but you're putting me on the spot. I'm happy to take the challenge.
Oh, thank you so much. I am your student now. I am your prospective client. I am a business owner. I am not an author yet. By the way, book is written, it's not published yet. I'm telling you right now. By the way, you know why I'm telling? Many authors have written the book, they have not published it yet.
Yes.
And until they publish, they can't say I'm a published author. I can't say at the time of this interview I'm a published author. As my own, I have multi-author books published. I've been to a number of them, but I don't really consider that as a published author. I see when it has to be my name, my picture on that one, and it's written all by me or by my team. How would you take me? I'm a publisher of 4 magazines, and I do a number of online businesses, the e-commerce business. I sell on Amazon, and I'm also part of this charity where we're training 1 million people in Pakistan. And here's how I introduce myself when I introduce someone. I say, I'm the founder of Pakistani Social Entrepreneurship Academy, a project of Al Sharif Foundation. We are on a mission to train 1 million entrepreneurs in Pakistan. Tell me the quality of the message.
First of all, what is most important for people to know? What is the one thing that you want to communicate to people?
Most important to people is that I'm creating impact in other people's life.
Okay.
So I'm helping, giving back. That's more important for me to people to know.
So that's the what. And how specifically do you do that?
I train them online by giving them I got stuck. See, that's what happened when somebody asks a question.
That's why we're on live television. No pressure.
No pressure. So we provide them the online training, self-paced training, where they learn from how they can utilize their skills to actually get customers online.
Okay. And why you? Like, why should it sounds like there's Kiva and there's all these millions of options of things that you can participate in, something similar. Why you?
Why me? Because I came from the similar background. I am from a remote village in a small city in Pakistan, Rahim Yar Khan. And since 7th grade, I have been outside of my home, and many people helped me in my life. And I could not believe where I am today. I'm so thankful and grateful what I have achieved in my life. However, I don't know, there are many hundreds of people who came to my life as an angel. I can't expect that all the stars line up for everybody in Pakistan. So I want to create 1 million angels like in Pakistan. Just for me of giving back, because I've been through that the whole experience. It was so unique. I understand them where they are from. I know their challenges, and I think I'm qualified to actually teach them. And I'm not alone. I'm part of a big group where so many other people are helping and contributing.
And last question, why now? Why is it important for a viewer right now in today's world and economy to do whatever you're going to ask them to do?
It's a great question, by the way, because Pakistan got a 3G and 4G technology right now. In a whole country, there's like a first mover advantage they can get right now. If they jump on right now, in a few years from now, you will be competing with the millions of other people. Pakistan is 220 million people population, and we are only training 1 million people. You can become an influencer in your own field if you jump on right now as early adopter of this process from Pakistan.
Great. So that was a lot of information, and what a good journalist will do is they will boil down to the most important pieces. So I know your question was about how do I get you to say the right message, but I'm going to give you a huge hack. You're going to actually allow the journalist to do that. So prior to the call, I'm going to ask the person, or our team, our producers will ask the person very similar questions. And then anytime I see something that's too much information, so for example, in the beginning, in that first, before you even started in with your talk, you gave all this information, you do this, you do that, you do this, you do that. And the viewer will turn off. Again, that's like they're shaking the hand. I'm an author, I'm a speaker, I'm a life coach. So you want to make it as clear as possible. And then what I did is I extracted some really key pieces, and I know the media. I know how to communicate to the viewer. So I'm only going to set you up. We're a team, because if you're a flop as a guest on our show, that does not look good for us. And it doesn't look good for you, which we don't want that. We want everybody to win. So what's going to happen is that you're going to come on the show, and I'm going to ask you the specific questions that are going to allow you to concisely communicate your message. So, for example, can I give you an example?
Absolutely. I'm ready. I'm holding my breath, by the way.
Okay. So what I would do if we were live on the show and you were a guest, I would say, today I am so excited to introduce you to this incredible man. He is not only an author of multiple digital magazines, he's an entrepreneur, he's a coach that teaches so many people how to generate revenue online. And he has created this new opportunity, this new philanthropic movement that truly is changing millions of lives. I would like to introduce everybody to Mohammed Siddique. Mohammed, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Oh my God, you are so good, Bonnie.
Well, so tell our viewers, we're not done yet, tell our viewers a little bit about your nonprofit.
Oh my God, you are that good? I could not believe this. Okay, so that's the power of really working with the right media coach.
Yes.
Folks, I was telling you, I was humiliated on this one. But no, you got the before and after difference.
No, we don't humiliate. That's the thing. We're here to grow. We're here to learn. And
no, but here's the reason. My guests, my people who watch me, millions of them, they say, oh my God, Siddique is being...
Yeah, no, but the thing is that I know what's most important to communicate to the viewer. They need to know who you are, why it's important. So we built credibility. We talked about what you've done in life. Why now? Now because the world is in disarray. There's chaos. There's all these things going on. And why is it important to them? Well, I maybe can't leave my life and my doggie and go volunteer in Pakistan for a couple of weeks or months, but I can definitely click on my PayPal and donate $100 and know that I just created 10 jobs for people, or however your math works out. But those are the things that people want to know. And when it's our thing, we know every bit, we know every cell. So we want to tell everybody a million things. We only need like 3 things. That's it.
Oh my God. Thank you so much. You folks, you're watching this, boys and girls, and the coaches and the authors, everyone, ladies and gentlemen, what you want to do is it okay if we can, Bonnie, I can ask you if you can coach 15 minutes each of my guests who come on my shows and the speakers and authors from my LinkedIn group. There are 14,000 of them at the time of interview, and there are millions of other entrepreneurs who are trying to get. I know you are very short on time. You give your time to everyone. However, is it okay if I can send you a few select people who are helping us to grow as a charity so we can create a more impact? I have your permission to share your message, your contact information, your link to your booking calendar with the select few people.
Yes.
Coach them as a kind of donation from you to the charity.
I was going to say, what if we did this? Because I believe wholeheartedly in what you've created. We use the Fiverr jobs or however that have been created for a lot of the work that we do with the show. And so what I would love to do, as you just kind of alluded to, is anybody that's a part of your organization that has donated, I would be more than happy to donate 15 minutes of my time and to do a media consultation like we just did. And as you can see, it doesn't take long. I'm really good at extracting the right details.
Yeah, it's amazing. So if you're still watching this, that means you really want to really learn from Bonnie how to actually refine your message. She only did one piece for me, and other pieces, you don't really care how my message look like. You really care about your message and your book and your business. What I want you to do is sponsor one child is only $100 to the Al-Sharif Foundation, because we are helping the people who have the skills so they can start earning $100 a month. $100 a month in Pakistan is like a $10,000 a month in the United States. Your small amount can create a huge impact in Pakistan. That's what we're talking. That's a dinner or two in a big city, by the way, and probably in New York is even more costly, more than $100. Your $100 can create a huge impact in someone's life, so that way we are teaching them how to fish for life. We are not giving them a fish. Donate $100 minimum. You can do more. I'm not stopping, because we need to train 1 million people. You do a $100 in exchange as a donation from Bonnie's company. We are going to send a link to book a call with a 15 minutes phone call with Bonnie, and she will work on your message, talk to you, and give you any suggestions you might have in 15 minutes time. Get ready for that. If you're interested, there's a link somewhere above, below, somewhere on the side of this video. Click on that and donate $100, and then we will send you the booking link. Bonnie, as we wrap up, someone is watching you right now, how they can support you. You have given us so much tips, and including trying to work on my message.
Yeah, I mean, we're always looking for great guests. So I know you were going to share some information on how people can get in touch with us. But if you're watching and you are amazing, believe in yourself. The one thing that I have learned over this past year, in a good way, in a painful way, in a blood, sweat, and tears way, is that you have to wholeheartedly believe in what you're doing and your message. And you have to do whatever it takes to share that message. And that's how we've been able to create the show, the distribution network, all of the channels that we're on, is just because I was so hell-bent on making sure that what I was creating was going to come to life. So whether you're an author, whether you're a coach, you have to have that same conviction. And once you do, we can help you get that message out to the world.
Thank you. One thing I want to let you know about Bonnie, I just forgot to share with you.
Yeah.
That Bonnie is the finisher. If you book the call, she's going to follow you up until you say, Bonnie, I'm not interested anymore. I'm telling you right now. If you're just doing it for the sake of talking to her one time, not following through, don't book the call. It's not required. There are very few people actually who follow through, and she is one of the top one on my list, by the way. She follows through every time whenever we had something. And that's a great skill. You want to have someone, a very responsible person when you're working with any coach, media coach or any other coach, because many people, they say they are going to do, but they don't follow through. That's a big credit to you, Bonnie. I'm telling you right now.
Thank you so much. Can I just add one little piece to that story?
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. That's an amazing compliment and something I do value myself on. And when I first started the TV show, I went to an agent that I'd been working on that booked me on a couple shows. And just to reiterate your sentiments, he said, okay, listen, I'm going to tell you how you can apply to get your own TV show. He goes, but I've been an agent for 15 years. I've told over 200 of my clients and not one of them has ever followed through. And I said, JT, I promise I'll follow through. And I did, and that led to getting a pilot and to a show and to now a distribution network. So whoever's watching, become a follow-upper. It really can pay off.
Yeah, and the other 200, they have not followed through. That's why they're still talking about, I am going to have a show, but you already have it. Talking about it and actually doing, you actually do make some money by doing something, not talking about it. Talking about it is not enough. That's just the first thing. So Bonnie, you get a final word. Let's wrap up on this one. What would you say as a final word?
Thank you so much for having me. One of the most important things that has been created throughout our show is the community. And because we've had over 250 guests on the show, many are authors, entrepreneurs, coaches, speakers, they have created kind of a family and networked with each other. In New York, we throw parties a couple times a year and people come and they create joint ventures. And I know that you have done the same with your community. So it's such an honor to be here and a privilege to be invited in to speak to your guests today. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Bonnie, for sharing your wisdom with us today on the behalf of Pakistani Social Entrepreneurship Academy. And the entire community, we appreciate you. This is Mohammed Siddique signing off from Atlanta. Wishing you good luck, good sales, and I do hope our path cross again with another amazing guest. Until then, bye-bye.
Bye.